Greetings, this is Frina Riamentro. I welcome you to another recap of Critical Role. God's sakes, I got one over quick. Tonight, uh, the path of vengeance will be revealed as we go into the 65th episode of Campaign 3, Saga of the Bells Hells. Uh, as, it, as the episode opens, we quickly notice Sam's doing some sort of tiger cosplay. This is for they never actually explain what that bit was for. The first ad is for a online role, like it's a simple tabletop, sort of like Baldur's Gate video game, but called Dragon Hair Silent Gods, in which Matt plays one of the characters you have available to choose from, the chivalrous horsework hero, Sa- so Sagomir. Apparently, this is one. According to this ad, this is one of many roles that Sam wanted, but Matt supposedly stole from him and had him do a re-audition and stuff. After two tries and judges going for Matt over his performance, so he admitted defeat. Those things were basically the ad reads. So, of course. Other things, including the separate episode of Candela Obscura and up and coming conventions, all of which I've missed. Oh, okay. So previously then we get to then after the intro, which still shows at the end the three guest characters C of Team Isilra. They're newly reunited. Basically talks about how after getting separated and transported to Isilra and that's and Wildmount. Following their assault on the Malyaski, the Bell's House is finally reunited. Bring along some of the companions they met along the way. New companions. And after catching up with stuff, explaining what's been happening and who the new people, and they're seemingly something with opposing viewpoints of the trip on journeys, which, well, structured very similar. Were probably just go look at the bloody episode if you have to. Anyway, it decided that the guest characters, Prism, Diana, and Frida, would all go and do some investigating on themselves while Bell's Hells figure out what to do from here. Okay. Uh, as Team Wild Mile continues to describe what happened during the separation, the fun things they did. There's kind of a little bit of tension, from what they're describing, it was a lot nicer than theirs. No one actually betrayed them and stuff. They got recognized as heroes and stuff, and didn't have help an uprising with which questions which side they're standing on and stuff. Laura actually says that they are not in a good place. Mm, they, I mean, they came out like seemed like nicer, like less clean and stuff, and even have new outfits, which apparently were paid for by the state. Um, uh, they talk about things like Chetney and Fern being part of a threesome. F.C.G getting boyfriend, and AJ apparently a new best friend in Frida. Uh, which is this is just image. I mean, which is Lana being a little insecure right now. And they portray also. I'm trying to catch a release on those Beatles, but they are starting to get to cross the line. Sorry, studio problems. uh, right now, they agree that they need to take some time to relax and figure out the next stage. Um, almost just one day to a pack, but they, but all basically they're on tight schedule. Like the but Lunas has seen at least like, has at least had one big win over them right now, and maybe on a bit of victory. So they only have so much. Uh, uh, I think Lana is a little put. Is especially put out. When learning about the most horrible part of the trip would actually be a place she would very actually like to visit just for fun. Um, uh, the Savalia Woods and Melasmere ruins. I think they decide that they want to try and figure out if there's anyone they need to contact. Like uh, Orem would like to check in with Zephyr to and make sure Keyleth's all right. And Ashton wants to talk to Milo. Mm, uh, I'm trying to think of. I have shorthand notes. I just gotta remember what they're shorthand for. Is anyway, I have something here for WTF FCG. Like, I think he made some sort of comment and stuff like. Uh, he also mentions how he doesn't want to get the group too separated right now. Like mentioning the last group he was with, he took his eyes off his last group and they ended up dying. And I just want to point out that that's a call. I think wasn't. I don't think that actually. I think the problem was they didn't weren't able to leave his sights. Mhm. Oh, and, they also agreed to try to talk to uh, as it Dial fantasy names and Zudana, the landlady for Imogen and Lana. They they Ashton and F.C.G go to see Milo, and Ashton has some modifications, which he didn't say on camera. We'll only find out later. Some of them for his hammer. Mm, yeah, and they'll need to be picked up next day and stuff. But his shop, like all the stuff, is depowered because of the solstice and it's the enchantment effects. He seems to be quite anxious and stuff and jittery. At one point, and he's like sort of has the behavior like of like a someone going through withdrawal or like a junkie or something. And Ash asks, "Were your meds magic too?" I'll just no that one. I think I'll just show you.
Boy,
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay. Ish? Oh, yeah, or whatever day is.
Quintalar?
Thank you. I know we were talking about calendars.
I like your coat.
Oh, well, thanks. Do you want it?
Sure.
Oh, Rumpet.
You didn't think that through, did you?
Didn't.
Just
All right,
fucking with you. It's fine. It's
nice.
fine. Glad you're alive. I got
Thank
money
you.
on. Well, I just lost a little money, but it's the best money I ever lost.
Oh, I appreciate that. Hey, it's good to see you.
You too. You look a little frazzled.
Yeah.
More than all the time. So.
Yeah.
Rough go.
Yeah, it's not done yet.
It's hard to get work in this craziness. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go smoke my way into a nap.
All right.
Smoke. What's she smoking?
Oh, God.
The fun stuff. She closes the curtain.
Okay. Sometimes I remember to put notes for the timestamps, but sometimes so I know what that is. Sometimes I forget. There's notes of the. They talk about how he thinks he might be trying to save the world right now. And his new bit more positive attitude is kind of alarming for Milo and F.C.G. There's even a little bit like about he says and when they asked him why, he said he doesn't want to be why he's getting all these upgrades and stuff. And he said, "I don't want to be worthless." And then I have several like timestamps on this one, so
That's easy enough. But first, can I just hug you? I mean, you're.
Hug. Just make sure you go in
will
hard.
It hurt?
No, just go in.
Okay.
It's the weird soft pressure.
I'm so
No, just-
proud of you. You're getting like a purpose and a trajectory, and you're thinking about others other than yourself, and you're. I can't cry. I don't have the ability to, but I would if I could. Maybe Milo could add like a little dropper or something.
How about I just like pour some water on you next time you need to I'll just let it.
That's
let
pretty
it roll.
good.
Yeah.
Tear me. I'm proud of you. I don't know what happened to you, and I don't need to, but
No, it's honestly, I mean, you're the person I should talk to about this. I don't like having things to lose. And now I have a bunch of shit to lose. So it's either I let it get lost again, or maybe
Fight
try
for it.
not to fuck it up. So these fuck ups, this is, it's just fucking in it now. I don't know. You're either in it or you're not. And I've decided it's been.
well, that is the way you put it. It still seems punk rock to me.
Love, man. Love.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, family's dangerous.
okay. Kind of like both the sentimental and funny there, so. Uh, uh, F.C.G is a little concerned that Ashton appears to be a little seems to be starting to get a little suicidal or something, but I don't think it's like that. Uh, I think he's a bit more reckless to try to protect them. But Ash assures them that they've him of the last few days and FCG's kind of just proud of him. Also, just proud of him for having a purpose to live now, and it's likewise for Ashton because FCG since he has freedom now. He doesn't. He's not just doing this for the mission. He actually has now thinking of something he could get back to after this is all over. A person, basically, FCG now has a reason to live. Oh, I think at one point Ashton refers to FCG as King of Self Destruction. Oh, we also see something very interesting though. Uh, another interesting thing.
Come over to Imogen and Lana.
Watch Sam.
The two of you have splintered off. Oh, no. No.
I don't approve.
No.
I disapprove of this.
Not true.
You're right.
No, it's true.
I'll fix it.
Ashley.
How did you? No. Don't look. I want you to see
Pac-O
her
ain't got
surprised
it.
like the rest of us.
Yeah, we'll just keep going like it's no big.
Anyway. Imogen and Lana.
It's not distracting at all.
As-
Not in the
keep going.
slightest.
Getting to oh no, the interaction.
What are the two of you up to?
You're such a dick.
How's that?
Better.
Okay, yeah, much better.
Sure.
Thank you.
Conditional.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then we get to Imogen and Lana, who go to visit Zuana's in their thing. They try to see if she has any information, but all they notice is like it's being a little tense over there, like with no one knows what's going on with the moon and stuff. Like they're like pointing side where they can clearly see it overhead, like so. And now all these different foreign powers seem to be passing through the military. Okay. Yeah. Apparently, Zuana takes up because of the last humongous payment took up painting. Okay, and then they decide that they decide to help her out a little more by helping going grocery shopping for her. There, Lana kind of apologizes for being snippy and outbursts, but it just seemed like they had like a far easier time with it during the separation. But yeah, she weren't. There, they keep talking. Imogen talks about how her circle is helping her block out everyone's thoughts and stuff, unless she wants to. So that means she can't hear her thoughts any longer. Okay. Which leads to something very touching.
Because you circle it. That's great.
It's great, but it's also
Okay.
strange. It's very strange.
Does it make crowded
Yeah, talk about the
environments
circle.
So much
easier?
better.
And that's wonderful.
Get comfortable. This was the one.
I have to listen in to get my thoughts. I'll always share them willingly. You can just ask.
Can I kiss you? I can't tell if it's all right or not anymore.
All right.
Thought you might want to see that scene. You might also recognize that as potentially this might be why I chose for the thumbnail. Nah, actually, I'll go with the.
All right.
All right, so I will. I do. I kiss her.
Well, hang on, real quick.
Describe it.
No! This is what use your imagination!
With your words, Matt.
I will wait. Continue your scene.
I'll describe it.
God, no.
3 for 3, Marisha.
I was making a dead person who wasn't romanceable.
I know.
Stop it!
Alright, pass it on that.
You don't have to. I just.
obviously.
And with that nice shipping moment, they start talking about what happened. It explains like how Lana explains how important imaging is to her. Like she's like an anchor for her. Uh, Then they start getting into things like what they did, like talking about how how they're not there to balance each other. Because she was not there to maybe stop her. Lana ended up killing Bodor, and how her about the betrayal. And she also explains how she lost control and thinks she may have just brought Delilah back. Though she also wonders if it's not and if there's not a little bit good, like they might need Delilah. Mhm. Right? She's basically about the while not be a bad thing. Imogen gets it. Like she's often tempted by the power of Rudis herself, so she has a sort of similar feeling. And then when they reach the marketplace, they can hear a voice like someone's gonna. Then they hear the voice, Ludinus's voice, making a speech about what's going on, like telling them that they're not meant to be bound to the gods, but they're meant to be to succeed them. There's a like illusion of him talking, giving a message like this propaganda spiel. How it's the mortal race's time. It's very similar to his speech at the Maliski. Two guards that kind of go up and find the crystal orb that's projecting the illusion and destroy it. But there's apparently been speeches. This is not the first time that this has happened, and I doubt it'll be the last. And then, since they got a new corset, which apparently clashes with their current look, for Lana's current look, they go get her own new design. Like I believe all of Bell's Hells ends up getting new designs. Hers also kind of goes into the like Regency romance or something, or like your Pride and Prejudice type themes, type of clothing. Actually, where the frick? Hang on. Okay, that's not. Yeah, we have all the people here. Milo and there's a Lunas. Okay, where the frick were we? They get the Imogen also gives Lana the weave piercer gloves, and using interesting form of mending, Lana basically attaches like belts or straps to dollhouse and wears a Pate's dollhouse and wears it as a backpack. Uh, I think she mentioned like these belts were given to her by Lana, which to make her look more like Vexalia. I forget how. Um, Later on,
I take the double belt, and I take my
oh yeah, here it is.
my pate house that Chetney made me, and I'm gonna attach with like a little bit of mending the belt straps to it, and make it a backpack.
That's pretty rad.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
So I
a
got
pate backpack?
yeah.
House?
As a pate house, wooden house, on her back.
Come on.
It's a little Baba Yaga
Yeah, this,
so
this
Regency
getting
era.
even more into the woods witch
ribbons?
aesthetic.
She doesn't
even.
know that.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, she has the Chetney. She has. I'm wearing your house as a backpack now.
No, it's great.
Yes, she's got this
Awesome.
like wooden hut on her shoulders now.
I love it.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
That guy's name.
Well, as you are finishing up your
Yeah. And then we get to Chitney, Fern, and Orem. Or, as I like to call them, Team Furry. Furries. Two of them have fur, and one of them likes to snuggle up to one of the other's legs, so. They head to the, they all to speak with Ajit. Who also has some connection with the Gorgini, the Legenzo Society. He sort of also serves as a teacher. They talk about like all the massive. They talk about the massive like international coalition that's going through. Jassar. They even mentioned how a day ago, Jaman saw Ord, leader of Ankarel, wasn't down with leading his forces there. If you don't remember, it's this guy who we met who assisted Bakula in campaign 1 against the Conclave. Specifically, he was meant to we also know him as Devosa, a brass dragon. He is meant to help them take out Thordak, but with a but the thing but he was only summoned after his defeat when they were facing off against Rashana. Rashon. Uh, the disease to see. Mm. So many powers are coming forth. And he was actually at a meeting with a town meeting with the Shande Quorum, which I believe is the ruling body of Jazar. Let me just check on that. Of the order uh, of the Order on Wilds, which include Jazar as its capital. And they talk about how they're even mentioned like talks with the Stratus throne. And they talk about how there's was a lost magic. Other prisoners have escaped. Like it just seems like people like who really should be are being freed all over. Umadara, I don't mind because he just got trapped somewhere as a side effect. So his turn something, but everything else stuff. I am legitimately concerned that this could release Ugatoa or the other two or its other two well, maybe not allies, but things who were like worshipped as gods after uh, the the after all the gods were got behind the divine gate. One of the escaped prisoners was Lev Levtonia, leader of the Ivory Syndicate. And I also have mentioned with all the tension with all the social going and people release and stuff, tensions are high. There's been no increase in violence yet, but they think it's only a matter of time. They start to, inquiring about old magic stuff, which are stuff being affected. Mhm. One thing that they asked him about is like what he knows about the Eidolons. That's fair. Which he seems to claim not to know about, but an insight check reveals he's. But after an insight check, it was like it led to a whisper, so we don't know if he's how truthful the statement is. And they talk about the harness they found in oh, what's it? Oh, hold up, melasmia. Mm-hmm. Where was I? But he has no idea about the harness, and this is done to him, and apparently the voice of Ludus, which was heard all around, was specifically heard at nexus points, no, where the teleportations happen, rift in space, I guess. And this meeting ends with Agit giving a warning that some of the Mahon houses have hired out the Hubat Corsairs as extra insurance and stuff, and they have had they're basically says if you see any, don't go fighting them. They decided to go try to get more information from the Temple of the Dusk Maven, which is another name for the Raven Queen. Mm.
On your multiplication tables.
Back to work.
This sort of began to gather up quickly.
Oh yes, that
Sarah
what
comes
this
from
was
one of
about.
the kids' ears like, why is she so furry?
Basically,
Why are you so hairless?
Stuff. And the girl goes, see. The kid kind of stands there staring at you before backing back up.
Yeah, mind your tongue. She's making a list. Checking it twice.
Oh, God.
You owned it.
Oh my God, is Fern the new Santa? This is Santa Claus.
Oh my God.
Steals things and gives them to other people.
Just steals the shit.
In her big pouch.
I'm gonna decide who's natty or
Not one of
nice.
the reindeer.
No.
Claus is out.
Definitely.
The Klaus.
Hooves
Yeah.
are in.
Yeah. The original Santa used to make toys. She just redistributes them.
Yeah.
Yes. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Sorry, I was going to say.
Okay. They're on the way to the Temple of the Dustman when Chetty suddenly catches a scent upon the wind. It smells to him like something like meat pies, like the most delicious of meat pies. And starts getting to. The other two smell the same, but to them it smells more like a stale grain. It sort of awakens a hunger within Chetney, and he goes chasing off the scent. And the other two in pursuit. They see this figure holding out a pouch, which is, and Chetney, who was already on all fours, though not transformed, goes good. He bites into it, and starts to transform. But it's a dried herb into there. As he throw it, this figure pulls out a silver net and throws it upon Chetney, and you can feel it burning into his skin. And that's where break comes in. There's the ads for like cool ads for the Dragonair Silent Gods merch. So and they talk about the different like comic cons they're going to, including one in London this weekend. Of course, I can't go, but which are also doing a live show for. The first there, I thought it was going to be showing tonight, but I think this will be the first live show since the start of COVID. A break ends basically, and this figure revealed to be some sort of dwarven hunter, like half his beard missing, something like that. He sees the other two coming out there and said, "Stay away. This is the business there." As if he doesn't. I'm not sure he actually understands that these are his friends yet, but I think he soon gets it. Fern immediately casts his light on him. He tries to. Jenny, who was unwillingly transforming, is being reverted back to having what was transformed, now reverted back with the silver net. However, while his wolf form is outcommissioned, he still has his other blood abilities and uses his blood curse of blood agony on the dwarf. That stuff. The dwarf tries to tell her that Chetney is a problematic beast.
Is a problematic curse.
Yeah, they are in the combat now.
Beast. And I'm gonna bring him in.
And just looks at the both of you, kind of like he's just reading any sort of reaction of the two.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but he's our problematic beast.
No, you knew as soon as you said that that's what was going to be said.
Okay?
You just knew it.
Some folks want him taken care of. There's a bit of money on his head. I'm gonna take it in.
Who? You fucking tell me or I'll kill you.
He's gonna go ahead and still like reeling from the hit that you took, is going to go ahead and make a shove attack against you. Sure. So I need you to make an athletics or acrobatics.
Anyway, they start fighting. Or knocks him prone. And Cheney's dragged further in the alley. It seems like he's getting ready to escape. Stuff. As he gets pulled alley, he even pulls out the silver hammer and stuff, threatening Chetney if they don't back off. it seems like he's gonna. And Fern does a desperate point, like, well, before you take away, let me give him a little kiss. And to that kiss, cast a stone skin, not so stones the shape uh actually stone skin. Watch it if you find out the joke, which helps protect it a little bit from 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 non-magical damage. So it's not just a silver that there's actually a enchantment on it since it's still working, which more information. There. There. Stuff. Orange slashes at the net to get him to try to stop. He uses a charm person on Orm, who stops fighting him. And then he says, and the dwarf says, "To you sends her regards," and and that struck a that sounds familiar, and I immediately thought, wait a sec, wait a sec, is that who I think it was? It is who I thought. uh, okay. You sure I remember? I remembered immediately who it was.
6.
Okay, so 3 points of fire damage. He's been roughed a little bit.
Is that right?
Wait, what?
Is that right? The shopkeep?
The one who ripped off Chetney, and he retaliated by breaking her into her shop and turning werewolf and attacking her. Not just barely just a scare little injury, but still.
My God!
The one. Wait.
You did this!
Stop.
Zacchaeus!
Wait, this is the guy that you fucked with?
I think so, right?
You were
Yeah, the one you
the one that overcharged me, and
and then you
I
threatened
went
his
back
life.
and
yeah.
Only one person here knows that. Right? You stealthed in by yourself.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
you.
But
Oh my God.
as the net falls to the ground and Chetney's now free and kind of gathering yourself and looking back at him, he's there in the alley looking at the three of you and kind of like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. After that, he realizes that he'll be he realizes he went in this fight, and so he'll be seeing him around. This is the dwarf, and Misty steps away. Chetty explains who this Tuyun is, and stuff. He realizes after Fern uses Little Mister his fire teleport ability to move Chetney out from under the net. Chetney explains who Tuyun is and stuff. Detective as well. At one point they spot they orange spots on top of the roof. The dwarf, he said, "Hey, if you want to," and the dwarf just disappears this time, and we haven't seen him since. They're about to go back, and they realize, oh wait, we still have to go to the temple. They Chetney, for safety, goes invisible. It goes on to the smoke fire to tell okay. Uh, there, they head there. One of the priests tells them that many in the city are feeling the same fear and confusion as they say. He's confident though that if the gods make it through this, they'll make sure the mortals will get to do, which I guess makes sense. I think the gods actually need the mortals to fuel themselves. The it's same thing that same story as the temples. Other temples they've been to. Well, except for like the sun, the panel thing, which they didn't stop to talk about divine recognition. But in Uthadurn, they said like they mentioned they can still sense the presence of the gods, but they are distant. They notice like the certain like flames are out on the temple and stuff like lights out. It may not matter, and they admit that the temple is a period of mourning. Mhm. This priest uh, uh, invites leads them to a pool and invites them to drink the water. Of It's like a little waterfall at the side, leading them to an endless fall. Well, they all drink. After they keep waiting, after a while they don't see anything. They go out to leave and stuff. And Chetney notices that he's no longer invisible. He gets away off, and they seem to be alone in the temple now. They wondering how long they were there. They move to go outside, but then when they open, and they do not see the exit, but a vision of a red sky, deep red sky, which and realize this is the scene of the Tishtan excavation site. They could spot the Malleus key activated, firing the red beam upward. They can even spot the little black orb in the center of the beam, and can hear a continuous scream from it. Then the door slams shut, and they see a massive white mask. And they awaken from this. They awaken from this shared trance. And, so, and the priest explains that we are in period mourning, one of our own. They are uh, uh, they are trying. They're dealing with the loss of the champion of the Raven Queen, Vaxildan, the Eternal. And before leaving, the Chetney asked how they can help turn the tide, and the answer is simply faith. The three return go, return to meet up with the rest of Bell's Hells, swap stories about what they're doing. Um, they decide the best thing to do is try to find out what happened to Keyleth and if she's alive. Talk to. Oh wait, they already know the Keyleth's alive. I forgot. Like last episode, they described on her. She's still wounded, but still alive. I asked about the person if she knew about the president, or you think Orm would know, being from the Ashari, but it's not. F.C.G suggests they should probably start putting their faith up. Like if their enemies are doing, they should probably be more focused on being uh, worship and stuff. Even tries to convince them to convert to the change bring.
I don't know. Are faithless heathens the right people to save the gods?
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
Well, I think you are, but maybe we should try to learn a little bit more about the gods.
So whoever said we're saving the gods?
Aren't we?
I'm interested in saving humanity.
I'm interested in
I
stopping.
think that's the same thing.
Is it?
I think in this case it is.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I agree.
No. Ashton and Locke are not, as you see, they're not convinced that the gods are the best ancient mortals. And Ashton seems increasingly angered by this. He won't pick up. He mentions how the first memory he has is of his parents being ripped to shreds by something. I forget, this great storm, and he being set flying there. There, how he was found a bit in the desert, something like that. That is like his first, his oldest memory. He said he will not pick the gods. The gods can pick him out of it. Like they haven't really done anything. He doesn't see how they've done anything for him so far. So he'll help them with it, but they have to come to him. Mm-hmm. They mentioned, but they go back to what happened in Hearthdwell. Like the gods were pushing in on the Dawnfather was pushing on, trying to push out an existing faith because there were no.
With different beliefs.
Sure we can. Why not?
Oh, they also mentioned how could they work together? This when they all have different beliefs. So
We all come from different places, different backgrounds, different preferences. Some of us are beautiful, the others are hideous. We're all different. We don't have to see eye to eye on that. We've been doing great so far. Had our asses kicked a little bit, but otherwise, really making big strides.
As long as we have an open mind and open hearts, maybe whatever we need to have faith in will reach us. And we'll be able to accept whatever it is. Which one of us are hideous, by the way? Like multiple? Like did you have
Dusk Maven.
All right.
Reach. Heart.
I have faith. I have faith in everybody at this table.
stuff. Anyway, one thing they can to put a faith in is each other, so that's good. Though about their different beliefs, as Oren points out, they have feel different ways about it, but they still have to solve it. This problem over all Alexandria. I had so and then they start talking about what they know and stuff. And
Very one-liner knowledge from this vest. Feels like
they talk about the harness, which I call the harness of harnessing. I think right now, for lack of a better term, and they find out that it's that they had wrong, like sort of wrong or inside out. It doesn't go like the thing doesn't go front of the chest, but on the back of the neck, with the funnel facing inward toward the neck, like sort of between the shoulder blades at the spine.
who knows how
harness.
long.
The base
Yeah,
of the-
Harness.
all the energy, right?
Not a
And
vest, it's a harness.
oh, sorry, the harness. I thought you meant like harness. And you're right, the harness was harnessing. Fuck, I've lost the thread.
The Dusk Maven shall
Chetney.
show you the threads.
Chetney was
Okay, look, I'm just trying it out.
No, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Keep trying it. Keep trying it.
You have faith
He's
now?
sucking energy out of things.
Yeah, basically. They do attempt a scrying before they go to bed. Fern attempts on Lunas, but fails. However, F.C.G, after smoking some incense for the spell, managed to get a scry on Uja's mom, Liliana Tumult. But it's a red scape, their stuff in a storm, and they realize she's on Ruidus. And walking beside her is Ludinus.
As the familiar feeling of a battering red dust storm of a shared dream you've been in before meets your gaze. Heavy wind blasting around you as this cloud of red dust fills the sky above and the horizon, but not all the space around you. At first glance, you see a woman walking, familiar in the coloration of her hair, long and blowing and tattering through the heavy winds. You see her coat, heavy scarf, goggles on, her face covered as she pushes forward. To her left, about a few feet back, another figure. Roll a perception check for me.
Guidance?
I don't know if I can do that. Can I guide myself? Probably not in that space. Okay. Perception?
Yeah.
21.
21. The other figure, also kind of mask covering their face with like a wrapped scarf, themselves walking with a deep cerulean robe, staff in a withered hand that is kind of blackened in coloration, the long silver hair of Ludinus Deleth, also within this storm walking alongside her, goggles above his eyes, heavy cloaks over their shoulders, whipping and blowing in the middle of the storm. And you see just on the horizon shapes in the middle of this cloud. Structures, buildings. And with a 21, you can just barely see a shape in the sky. A round body of a faint bluish-green coloration. Exandria looms just beyond the dust storm above. You pull out from the vision and return to the space.
Okay. And well, F.C.G kind of actually just let him finish that.
It didn't work. It took me into some fantasy place.
Because he saw around Exandria, he's like there. They try to convince him, but explain it all. And he gets to the point where they're just ask the Changeburger then. He has a coin that allows him to do a single question commune based on the coin flip. Is it go? Is Exandria round? It actually confirms Exandria round, but he's not fully convinced. He said, "Well, of course, we saw that there. It is it's round around the edges, like a disc, a flat disc. Is that basically they had to wait to the next commune before they said, is it a sphere? Before and and there. Well, anyway, the party starts speculating what to do. They suspect that the beam light is more of an elevator and means of transport, so they need to figure a way to fight to get strong enough to face off against Ludus and his forces. Uh, uh, but first they need to figure out a way to make sure they can beam themselves there. Oh, sorry. This is where they talk about how the funnel, in that, how the funnel leads to the base of the wearer's neck. They'll notice because of either age or whatever happened during the corruption of Molasmir, it is no longer functional. However, they suspect that if he's been using this to magically inject himself to boost his powers, maybe this point of injection could be a weak point. And then this harness could be repairable. Ash suggests they try to find Ira Wendigoff because he's into this weird contraptions. Asher eventually goes to pick up his after White. Asher manages to pick up his new hammer. Which now incorporates the prismatic crystals from Vestro's cavern. It also has a switch. There's also something about a gap with zero. He's not sure what it'll do, but he's sure to be beautiful. The crystals were, or the as you recall, have ability to refract magic and spells, like allowing your power to hit larger areas. Might be interesting what to do. But I also suspect he does something else crafty based on what they said. I think he took he incorporated Borodor's removal rod, but they looted off his body into it. So once he slams it down head first, like puts it on the ground and stuff, he can activate it and trap like an opponent there. That's my theory, at least. Um, they start to try to send a few messages to get more information. Using the same stuff to try to contact Caleb unsuccessfully. Also, to try to get in touch with, they also try to use sending to Ira so that he can talk. They can talk to him about the harness, but they also and F.C.G can't even describe her. Though I think it's more that Ira sensed to coming and sort of resisted the scry. Mm-hmm. So, however, Fern also casts scry and succeeds, and she succeeds. Like he fails to save, and they find our treasure load in a red dust storm. It seems he might also be on Rudas already, and we have no idea whether or not whose side he's going to be on. He helped them create missions, sir, and because they didn't repay him and stuff. But for all we know, now that it's over and what they've done, he could just be interested in what side, which creates more chaos. He reaches a huge red boulder, along it, and then revealing an opening. Okay. Inside there is this muscular humanoid with with a deep red olive textured skin. It resembles that of the entities that Indigen can summon. This could be a corporeal uh, uh, Raylora. And as it goes, they uh, um Ira stops one. They guess they may be having a telepathic communication. Upon the next day, they prepare to head out. They notice a few of the skyships departed, and you can see a few even going past the site in the distance. Imogen uses Orm's Sentinel Shield as a focus to direct their teleportation. And with that, the party takes off and lands in a beautiful mountainscape with a blooming cherry. They've arrived in Zephyra. And that the episode ends. And to end this recap, all that's left is to reveal a homebrew. This is one of my first homebrews. Gone through many different religions. This one I actually would recommend because I think This is one of my other ones, and I think I made it a little too. This one's a little too strong. Rune sealed studded leather armor. The studs of leather there on this leather armor are inscribed with mystical runes, linked in, by with with enchanted cord sewn right into the armor, linking these things. If you were to fold them out, they would sort of form magic circles and other form of intertwined magical seals. To enhance and channel the capabilities of the the wearer. While wearing this attuned leather armor, you have access to a number of properties decided by the DMGM or by dice roll. Roll a 1d4 plus 2 to determine the number of properties. And then and when you determine how many properties your armor will have for each thing, you roll a d10 to identify the property as seen on the table below. Though, if you get we're rolling the d10, the 1d10, if you get repeat numbers for that, instead of getting the new thing, you re-roll. On a 1, you can add your half proficiency rounded up to your AC. Basically, add half your proficiency to your AC. Okay, 2, at the start of each turn, choose to have resistance against either 1, bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage dealt by weapons, or 2, any form of magical damage. Basically, you resist almost everything. Number 3 is helps you resist what's left over. You get resistance against environmental damage. Example: fall damage, damage from lair actions, drowning stuff too. Like if you like step into fire with that sort of thing, you have resistance to that. The fourth option, you have an extra bone action. For each round, you have actually an extra bonus action and reaction. Your extra bonus action. Keep in mind, you could get as few as 3 of these abilities, though you could get as many as 6, but you can't get one with all the abilities. Your extra bonus action cannot be used to attack. Like if you can have a feature that allows you to attack with a bonus action, that feature will not work with the extra bonus. Okay. And your bonus reaction can't be triggered by the same action and as your regular reaction. Like, say you get an attack opportunity, you use your regular reaction there to attack. You can't do another attack on the same thing for moving out of range. It's been a while since I looked at this homebrew. At the start of the fifth option, at the start of your first turn, after taking damage, you regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus your Constitution modifier. I feel like that's I feel like I was going for the now because that seems comparatively weak compared to some of the other abilities on this. Oh yes, this is not the only magic item I thought, though I haven't made the other one yet. But I have this feature. But choose one class feature from. Okay, this is actually more stronger than I thought. Yeah, well, choose one class feature from each of your character's classes that grants you proficiency with light armor. These features can only be chosen if they are available one level above the level in your class. Not the first time I have this sort of concept magic item, but if the property is granted through a subclass and not a main class, like your proficiency with light armor comes from a subclass, not a main class. And the feature must be specifically from that subclass, not your. When your class level increases, you may choose a new feature. It cannot the increase cannot increasing number of spells cannot be chosen. Like number of spell slots. Also, I should point out. I think I had is that number of spells known because of that isn't something else. Isn't also something you have. I will also say no extra, like no getting hit points from this from that feature either. On a 7, each of your ability scores increase by 1. Uh, D, option 8. Your ability check rolls, ability save rolls, and life saving rolls are all have advantage. This is like I said, this monk armor could be. Well, I think may actually be too powerful, even with some restrictions I've added. Okay. The 9th option: when an enemy in your weapon range targets you with an attack and misses, immediately take 1 attack at that enemy. No action required. I've also been also includes bonus actions and reaction zone. The attack roll for the counter strike it is 1d20 plus plus the AC minus the attack roll of the enemy. Like basically you add the difference between the by you add how much they failed, like the difference between your AC and their attack, to your roll instead of your traditional stat. And the final ability: this armor gains all the extra properties of another magical leather armor or studded leather armor. GM chooses which. It cannot be another rune sealed studded leather armor. If this rune sealed studded leather armor was made from an already existing magical leather armor or studded leather armor, that armor is probably automatic. Basically, the option is automatically chosen. Those properties are automatically. It retains all those properties. Basically, if you make it from existing armor, and this is automatically one of an option chosen. This is like one of the first ones I made, which is why it's kind of so a little bit overpowered. Anyway, I thank you for joining me. This is Free Adventure, and I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.